Hello fellow RC people! Today I thought we would go through a couple of the things that I have had to break on this WLtoys 104001, and might be good to have spares for just these areas. So let's take a look. Okay, so the first part is not really a faulty part, but just a really nice upgrade. And that is the motor and ESC that is in the car when it arrives. Although there is nothing wrong with the servo, you have to change it since this all-in-one ESC has 5 wires on the connector, and you can't fit this to a new receiver either, so you have to get a new receiver as well. But a brushless system is a big leap in performance on this little car. It did heaps of both speed and control in my opinion, and it's well worth it. And it's a good choice to buy a kit like I did from Banggood as well. I'm putting a link to that down in the description. And as I said, since the ESC has everything built in, like the receiver as well, you have to buy a new receiver and transmitter, and I went with the Dumbo RC, putting a link to that down in the description as well. These ones are really nice, I think. It's easy to control and very good range on it. And the second part is the drive shafts. In the back they have this kind of dog bone drive shaft type, and they are not beefy at all, but it's easy enough to straighten them out by hand or a few hits with a hammer, so it's not that big a deal so far. In the front, however, they used CVD joints in the outer place here, and yeah, the dog bone, I don't know what they call, but dog bone type in the towards the diff, and they seem to be a kind of weak alloy. So after the first time turning it brushless, yeah, it broke in the CVD joints. So then it was a 3-wheel drive and well, basically non-drivable. And since there were no spare parts at the time, I customized a pair of axles from PR Racing. It was the right length and kind of cheap. The only thing I had to do was to grind the end down a bit, about a millimeter in the diameter, and it was a perfect fit. And it seems to be a lot stronger since it's made of spring steel instead, so I hope it will last a little bit longer. The third part, I guess, is a matter of drive style and not really a part that is faulty. When I drive my car, it's I'm doing it mostly on tarmac, on a big parking lot, and my guess is that these tires are not made for that kind of surface, because yeah, they were totally flat on like 2 runs. Maybe that's just me, or I'm just used to, well, these kinds of tires. Monster truck tires. But I suggest you get a couple of wheels. Either you get something like this if you're driving on, well, not on dirt or gravel or something like that. If you are gonna drive on tarmac like me, get some road tires. Maybe they last longer, maybe they don't. It's a matter of drive style. But a couple of tires is never a bad idea to have laying around anyway, because since you are driving probably like crazy, like I am. The next part that broke was the pinion inside the diff. This little part, see the teeth are missing, and this is the part that is inside the diff right there. Again, this might have to do with my driving style, but I have seen a couple of posts with the same problem, so it's probably not the best metal. And I'm hoping there will be a like steel replacement soon enough, hopefully, because I want to drive this. I am looking for another replacement from other brands, but I haven't found anything yet that fits with the same dimension as this one. If and when I do, I will put a link to that down below as well, so you don't have to look. When the pinion cracked, it made a nasty groove in the ring gear on the diff as well. So that might be a good thing to have laying around. As of right now, there is only available a complete diff, but they are relatively cheap and stuff might break inside the diff as well, so might be a good idea to have one or two of these laying around. It is the same part in the front and the back. Hopefully there will be a steel version of this available sometime as well, since when you have made it brushless, I'm guessing there is a bit more pressure on everything in the car. And speaking of the diffs, when you get your car, try to open up the diff and get some grease or something in it. There's a very small amount of it inside the diff, but get something like bearing grease in it, and it seems to be functioning pretty good. It turns a lot smoother, and you get away from that grinding noise that you will hear when you drive it for the first time. So that is something I would do, and it's something I did. It will probably make the diff last a little bit longer, at least the inside. Since I haven't done any driving on skate parks or ramps or anything like that, I haven't had this problem, but I do know, I have heard of people that has a problem with the chassis bending, but that is probably when you're jumping on skate parks, and yeah, if you have a really nasty tumble. But if you're doing like me, just driving on tarmac and parking lots, I don't think that will be a problem. At least not yet. I haven't had any major accidents so far, but I don't think that's anything you need to buy just to have as spares. But it might be a good idea to have that in mind, that it is metal and it can bend. But overall, I really like this car. It's easy to drive, it's easy to fix, and I don't really mind that stuff breaks. It's I guess it's a part of the hobby, and I think it's fun to like fix things, tinker with things. If you have had any other problems with your car, let me know in the comment section, so I want to learn as well. And maybe we can come up with some solutions to other problems. But if you learned anything from this video, let me know in the comment section as well, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you want to check out when I drive this car and it's not broken, you can check out some of these videos. But for now, I have to say thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.